What if the person you least expected to is the one who's plotting a sinister plan behind your back? This is a bizarre tale of jealousy and a secret worth the lives of two people. We're Unsolved Cases, and we cover unsolved crime stories from all around the world. If you like this type of content, then consider subscribing to our channel as we bring never-seen-before crime stories to you. And don't forget to hit that notification bell to get notified whenever we upload a new episode. In Holland, Michigan, a picturesque town with rich Dutch heritage, the lives of newlyweds Gail and Rick Brink took a tragic turn. Their dreams of renovating their new home and starting a family were shattered by jealousy and dark secrets. Pam Wingarden, living nearby in Park Township, held on to a haunting secret for 25 years. She concealed the truth to protect her job, family, and reputation. The burden of knowing, but unable to share the truth, ended on January 18, 2013, when Pam finally revealed her terrible secret to detectives. Driven by a mix of love and fear, Pam had allowed herself to be controlled by her husband, Ryan Wingarden. He dictated every aspect of her life, even determining who she could talk to or interact with. He had even threatened her life. For a quarter of a century, Pam carried the knowledge of how Gail and Rick Brink met their tragic end. Unbeknownst to many, she lived with and loved their murderer, her husband Ryan Wingarden. Gail was only 19 and Rick was 22 when they first crossed paths at work in 1984. Rick was utterly charmed by Gail, and he couldn't help but share his feelings with his mother, Isla. Despite coming from a less fortunate background as one of their 8 children, Gail was an ambitious woman who knew exactly what she wanted in life. Their meeting felt like destiny, and both Rick and Gail were equally ambitious and deeply in love. They found in each other the perfect partners to build the life they both desired. Soon after, Gail and Rick became a couple, leaving their past behind to focus on a shared future. They sealed their love with marriage on April 25, 1986, just a day after Gail's 21st birthday. The couple had their eyes set on buying a home together. After returning from their honeymoon, they found their dream home, a ranch-style house with 20 acres of land on the outskirts of Holland, Michigan. This property provided the privacy they desired as they embarked on their new life together. However, their plans were about to take a tragic turn. On November 21, 1987, Gail and Rick attended a friend's wedding where they were seen enjoying themselves, reconnecting with old friends. Little did anyone know that this would be the last time anyone would see the couple alive. On the morning, November 23, 1987, as both Rick and Gail failed to show up for work, this wasn't normal for them. Concerned by their absence, their employer reported their unexplained no-show. The worried parents wasted no time and drove to the couple's residence on Ransom Street. As they arrived, they noticed Rick's SUV still parked in the driveway. Thinking they must have overslept, they went to the porch and began ringing the bell, but there was no answer. Luckily, they knew where Rick always hid his spare keys, and when they entered the house, they witnessed something no parents ever should. Rick was discovered slumped across the front seat with a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Fearing the worst, they immediately contacted the police. Officers from the Ottawa County Sheriff's Department swiftly arrived at the scene and secured it. A chilling discovery awaited them inside the house. Upon further examination of their home, the lifeless body of Gail was found on the couple's waterbed, her face concealed beneath a bloodied pillow. Shockingly, she had suffered 3 gunshot wounds. Rick and Gail, who had been married for a mere 18 months, had both been executed with gunshots, and their lives were cruelly cut short. The weapon used in the crime was identified as a .22 caliber revolver, yet the gun itself remained elusive and no shell casings were left behind. Investigators did uncover 6 fingerprints at the scene, 4 of which belonged to the couple. However, the origins of the other 2 fingerprints remained unknown, with one found on the toilet seat and the other on a telephone. Despite running these prints through the system, no matches were found. Ryan Wingarden was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder in the deaths of Gail and Rick Brink. The trial began in March 2014, with the prosecution arguing that Ryan was motivated by jealousy and fear of exposure of their incestuous relationship. Pam Wingarden's testimony was crucial in securing his conviction. Ryan was found guilty on both charges and sentenced to the 2 life terms without parole. The case devastated the family, and Ryan's mother never accepted the verdict before she passed away in 2021. Pam divorced Ryan, who lost all his appeals and remains in prison. This case was a tragic ordeal for everyone involved. But Ryan was supposed to be the good guy. What pushed him to do this? What was the secret? Turns out that Ryan and Gail had an incestuous relationship. This was the motivation, and the fact that it could not continue pushed Ryan off the edge.